Well, my name is Eva Marie Davis Gooch. I like to put that Davis in there. I'm an evangelist here at Vision Worship Center. I've been in ministry for about 28 years, close to 28 years, and just loving the Lord and live here in Danville. I have a daughter, Vicky. I'm married to my wonderful husband, Tommy. We've been married going on 37 years and just love God and excited about what we're going to be talking about. My first and earliest introduction to the Lord was by being adopted. I was adopted into the Davis family, and they were acquainted with Church of God of America, Pentecostal church, and that was my introduction to holiness, and living for God and the truths of the Bible. And so at the age of about 8 or 9 years old was my first encounter with God. I had gotten saved as a child in my young years and things, and later on, made some mistakes and left and came back, but I'll share more about that in a moment. But that was my first encounter with God at about the age of 8 or 9 years old at Church of God of America under the late and great Bishop A.R. Smith's ministry. All right, I left in my early teens, maybe around the age of 13 or 14 years old. I was still quite young and just let the enemy trip me up about some things that I wanted to do that, really I knew the Lord wouldn't be happy with, but just got my mind off of Christ, to be honest, and got it on different things I saw, different things people were doing and wanted to do. So I left the Lord, and I must say, first of all, that I regret that decision every day of my life, but God has forgiven me. But what I did, I left, and then as time went on, got more and more involved with things that I shouldn't have, drugs, alcohol, those type of things, and just went wild, to just basically call it in, just went wild. And then I ended up leaving Danville and moving to the city. I moved to Cincinnati. My mother's people were there, a lot of family there, my grandmother and different ones, my uncles, my brother. And I moved up there and just got worse instead of better. And left God, got into a lot of things. One thing in particular, got in a vehicle with somebody I had no knowledge of, knew nothing about, trying to get a ride on a cold, snowy day. And he invited me in, and for the grace of God, he could have thrown me in the Ohio River or anything, killed me, and nobody never would have known. But I was able to get away from that situation. And then my grandmother became ill, Mother Davis, who was a member of Church of God of America. Mother Davis, Sister Weathers, you've heard about as a child. And I came back to help take care of my grandmother, and she passed away very suddenly after I came back. And my Aunt Lena didn't have anyone. They were my father's mother and sister, and she didn't have anyone to care for her. So I ended up staying here to care for her and things, and that was a wonderful experience. I will never regret that, and stayed with her and looked after her. And then by the time she passed away, I had married my husband now. His name's Tommy Gooch, most of you know. And I had my daughter, Vicky, Catherine Victoria, and just being able to be around town with my family. But that void, Pastor Weathers, was there. I was doing anything that I wanted to do, and living the life that I wanted to live as a mother and a wife and things, but I was really, really empty. And so what I did, we lived in a house right down from the church on Slope Drive, just a few doors down. Lived there for 13 years. And one day I can remember going in the bathroom and getting on my knees and crying and praying to God. And I get filled up when I talk about it. I asked him to please let me come back to the Lord before it was too late, before I died and lost my soul, in hell. And I said, Lord, I know that you will hear the cry of a sinner, and please help me to get myself together, make up my mind, give up the things that I was doing and come back to you before it's too late. And I didn't pray like that again, but it was in my heart. But I didn't just literally get down on my knees and say all that again. But the fact that I did, I know God heard me, because maybe it might have been a couple of years after that, a year or two after that. But the Lord would have done it sooner had I submitted. But a little while after that, I got saved under the late great Bishop Larry Weathers Sr., under his ministry at Church of God of America. That Sunday I came, I didn't intend to come, first of all. I'd kind of been partying that Saturday, doing my thing and stuff. And I had no intention of coming to church. And for some reason that Sunday morning, I got up and I said, I think I'm going to go to church. And I put on a little blue wool suit, because it was in March. And I had a little white blouse on and things, and got ready. And I brought my daughter Vicky with me. And we came to church. Like I said, I was a little hungover and things. To be honest, I wasn't feeling my best. and I came for whatever reason. But your father preached from Psalm 27, verse 8. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. And that was the subject of his message that Sunday morning. Late and beautiful woman of God, Amanda Weathers, got in the spirit and came to me as I sat in one of the pews at the back. She got in the spirit and came to me and ministered to me that I would do what the Lord wanted me to do. So when the altar call was extended, I got up and I came, thinking I was coming for prayer, and things, but being open by that time to whatever God, wanted to do. I knew one thing. I remembered the prayer that I prayed, and I didn't want to go out of the church the same way that I came in. And things lost, because I feel that if I had left, and I always reflect on this, if I had left that day and not came, given my life to the Lord, I feel like that I would be gone now and I would be lost. That, it's just kind of what the Lord appeared to me, don't take that chance. And I got saved and went home, shared with my husband, Tommy. He wasn't familiar, with the holiness and things like that. And so, he wasn't very happy about it, to be honest, and things. But now, oh my goodness, now, there's nothing greater than my beautiful saved preaching wife. My wife's a preacher. Did you all know that and stuff? He shares that with everybody and things. He's very happy for me now and things. And later on, my daughter, living that life of holiness, she came to the Lord and been saved close to 20 years now. But those were my first encounters. Oh my goodness. Life without Christ. Empty. And I'm not just, saying that, trying to think up something. I just remember feeling alone. I had a wonderful husband. Tommy's a great husband. And a beautiful daughter, that for the most part respected, my life in holiness. And I had a few close friends and that type of thing, but just feeling so empty, just feeling down all the time and sad. And regardless of what I had and what I did, it's like it just wasn't enough, and just feeling like the whole world was against me. I would focus more on how many enemies I had, how many people hated me for things that I had done to them or done in sin that they thought were awful, and things like that. There's some things, of course, nobody will ever know. I will never, ever tell. But, and I know God won't reveal either, but I just felt so down and alone. Every day was a day, here we go again. Same old thing. One of my main questions, what's somebody gonna do today to hurt me? Just hurt. Some of that stemmed from the fact of being adopted and finding it out when I was like in the 3rd grade and being so hurt and crushed, not knowing anything about my biological family. There I go again, trying not to have the waterworks flowing, but not knowing about them and things like that. Some of it came from that, but at the same time, just feeling alone, and things. I could be surrounded by a group of people, but alone. And angry. Anger. Oh my gosh, anger. Every day, just angry at the world. And why was it this? And why was it that? And just blaming myself for a lot of things that had happened, and blaming this one and that one, and if they hadn't done this, I wouldn't be that way, and if they hadn't done that, I wouldn't be this way, and all that just hurt and anger.